What's up everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to tell you about all the movies I watched in July. So in July, I only focused on watching movies, but in this month of August, I'm going to do just non-stop video games and maybe an occasional movie or two, but I'm going to focus more on video games this month. But in July, last month, I focused a lot more on movies. And I watched over 100 movies. So I'm going to tell you the movies that I watched, and I'll probably not talk about all of them, but maybe a few of them. So there's like 4 pages here. So I watched season 1 of The Flash. I watched The Castle, which is like an English movie from the 90s. The Hunter, Bounty Hunter. But that was a good movie though. Switching Channels. Komodo. Return of the Dragon, Bruce Lee movie. The First Wives Club. The Incomplete Deer Hunter 3, which is a Jeff Foxworthy spoof of deer hunting videos. Ghost Team 1, which was a really good movie. Unholy, that starred Adrienne Barbeau. I didn't really like it that much. Smash Cut, The Cellar Door, The Gathering, that starred Christina Ricci, which was a pretty decent movie. The Satanic Rites of Dracula, Carney, Seven Ninja Kids was such a weird movie. It's a kids movie, but it's made in Japan, and it's weirdly made because it's supposed to be made for kids, but they have cuss words in it and calling people retarded and calling people gay, and basically at least 2 times in the movie I heard the theme to John Carpenter's Halloween. So I don't know if John Carpenter knows about that, but someone's getting sued. And it's like a poorly made movie, but it was a good movie, if that makes sense. It's a different movie. And Seven Ninja Kids, I think at least at some point they killed 2 people. It just seems like they broke their neck. I don't know, but at some point in the movie they killed 2 people while fighting a bunch of people. And it seems like they just were laughing and dancing because they won the fight. And they were like, you just killed 2 people. I don't know. Honeymoon, which is a horror movie, but I'm not going to say what happens at the end, but it's a must watch. John Carpenter's The Ward, The Shadow Man, Safe Men, which is a comedy about safecrackers. The Devil's Curse. What happened in that movie? I forget. Like, I watch so much movies that I kind of forget what happened in them. But The Devil's Curse. I don't remember what happened in that movie. Woman in the Woods. The Last Sect, which was a vampire movie, but it's an okay one. It's not the great. I watched season 2 of The Flash. Dead Season, which is a zombie movie. Guardians. I watched Guardians, and it's like a Russian Guardians of the Galaxy, but you can tell that they took things from the Avengers movies and the Marvel movies, because a guy that turns into a bear and a girl that turns invisible and a guy that controls rocks. I don't. It's weird, but yeah, it was decent. Tekken, Kazuya's Revenge. I never really played much Tekken games, but I'm pretty sure that that movie was not video game related. I don't know. Best of the Best, which was a great martial arts movie. Like, I never seen it, but when I watched it, that was a great movie. Firewalker, that starred Chuck Norris and Louis Gossett Jr., which is like an adventure comedy. It was a good movie. Kidnapped in Paradise. I watched Volume 1 of Time Warp, the greatest cult films of all time, and they talked about like midnight movies. and Volume 2 of the Time Warp Greatest Cult Films, and they talk about horror and sci-fi. The Werewolf versus the Vampire Woman, Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things, The Vampire Night Orgy, which there was no orgy involved, The Thirsty Dead, Bloodthirst, Satanic Panic. That was such a Satanic Panic was like a crazy movie. It's great. It was good. National Lampoon Live, New Faces Volume 2, which is stand-up comedy. Bad Words was a great movie. Like a grown man doing a spelling bee for kids. That's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, that's a good comedy. Gossip was a great thriller. I never seen Gossip before, and I watched it and was like, it's such a good movie. Season 3 of The Flash, Demonic, Uninvited. Birdemic Shock and Terror was just so bad, but so fun to watch. If you know what Birdemic is, it's like really bad CGI birds and people fighting them off with bad acting. Worst acting ever, but it's so bad it's good. It's probably like up there with Troll 2. The Hit List, which stars Cuba Gooding Jr. as a hitman, and that's a really good movie too. So it's an action movie. Demon Child, The Devil's Restaurant, Toe Tags. The movie Toe Tags, you would think it's a horror movie, but it's not. It's basically like a Bill and Ted type duo trying to solve a murder. It was one of the worst. It wasn't like a full length movie, but it seemed like it was like 45, 50 minutes. How to Be a Serial Killer, Monster Party. That was a good one. That was a real good. Puppet Master 2, Cyrus, The Resident, One in the Chamber, Bridge of Dragons, Housebroken, which stars Danny DeVito in a comedy movie. That was a good one. The Burning Dead, Pastor Shepherd, Absentia? Yeah, that was a weird one too. The Woods, that had Bruce Campbell in it. Foxy Brown, that was a good movie too. Freshman Orientation, stars it's like a, what do you call it, a college comedy. It takes place during the college, and Freshman Orientation is a really good comedy about colleges, and especially about this guy who likes this girl and somehow pretends to be gay to be her friend to get close to her. So I mean, it's one of those. It's a great movie. You gotta watch it if you ever find it. National Lampoon's Adam and Eve, probably not the best National Lampoon movie, but it's an okay movie. Crazy Samurai 400 versus 1, which was amazing. It's all recorded in one shot with one guy fighting all these samurais. It's amazing. Countess Dracula, The Vampire Lovers, Dream House, The Turning, IT, which is stars Pierce Brosnan. And he hires this IT guy that will help him fix some stuff, and the IT guy becomes infatuated with him and his family. And it's a really good suspense movie. Ninja, Scar, Midnight Movie, which was a really good horror movie. Terror Trap, Frost, Portrait of a Vampire, VFW, which was a great movie. Dead Detectives, which was also a great movie. Demoted one is a good comedy. It's like a funny comedy. You would like, if you watch it, you find it, watch it. Jackass 3, Jackass 3.5, Three Wise Guys, Requiem for a Vampire, Hard Ride to Hell, Psychomania. Psychomania was a weird one, and it feels like I've seen it before, like on a Mystery Science Theater one. And it's basically about this biker gang who are teenagers, and one of the leader is basically his mom is a witch, and he learns that his dad was also some kind of warlock witch guy, and he learns that if you commit suicide and believe that you come back, you will. So he commits suicide. He does come back more evil, like Pet Cemetery evil, and convinces the other biker gang, his friend bikers, to kill themselves, and they'll come back more powerful. And they all do in like a crazy montage of suicide. So it was a crazy movie. Shadow Zone: The Undead Express, Near Dark, which is my first time ever watching Near Dark, and it's one of those '80s vampire movies. If you've never seen it, and it's pretty up there with The Lost Boys, but I think it comes into number two. I want to say that The Lost Boys is still my number one vampire movie of the '80s, and Near Dark will be in number two. Society, which was weird, like a body horror movie, and I still don't understand it, but the ending was so bizarre in that one. But it's a watch. Haunting at the Beacon, Stephen King's The Night Flyer, BloodRayne 2 Deliverance, House Party 2, which is a blast from the past of the '90s movies. Chains of Gold was a great like action suspense starring John Travolta, where he plays as a social worker. He's looking after this kid and his family, and the kid joins this gang who is very dangerous. So he basically infiltrates this gang to find the kid to get him out. So, but Chains of Gold is like a very good movie. Sinister 2, I was excited to watch, but I kind of got bummed out because it wasn't as good as the first one. But it was still okay movie. Sinister 2 is okay, but it's not as good as the first one. Alright. Ringu, which is the Japanese ring. Heart Condition. Frank. Physical Evidence. Rage, that stars, what's his name? Nicolas Cage. Is an ex-mafia guy, I think. And his daughter gets kidnapped and killed, and it's a twist ending. So if you ever find Rage, check it out. SLC Punk, which I thought was a great movie from the '90s. Born to Raise Hell, which is a Steven Seagal movie, and I have noticed that Steven Seagal never gets hurt in his movies. Just watch a Steven Seagal movie and see if he gets hurt. I mean, he doesn't. He just acts like this non-stop action guy. He doesn't get shot, stabbed, hit by a car, but he does the same move over and over. I don't know how he beats up bad guys, but yeah. Cage Fighter, The Matador, which was a good movie. Rent-A-Cop, Nightmare at Noon, which is like a clone of The Crazies. It's basically this government scientist poisons a small town water, and whoever drinks the water goes crazy on a killing spree. So the whole town is killing each other. The Crazies, but it's called Nightmare at Noon. So probably Hidden Gem. Moan, Swingers, Article 99, Gorgeous, which is Jackie Chan, and of course Jackie Chan does get hurt in his movies. He's no Steven Seagal, he does get hurt. The Kitchen, which was my first watch ever, and I love that movie. That was a great movie. Dead Bang, The Order. The Sword and the Sorcerer was like a fantasy adventure movie, and the practical effects in this movie was so amazing that it could have been a horror movie because it was that good. And this guy has this sword, which is 3 blades, and somehow he can shoot a blade off of it, impaling someone else. And the practical effects, again, it's great. It's amazing. It's from the '80s, The Sword and the Sorcerer. So it might be a hidden gem. I don't know. Other People's Money, The Brink, Machete Kills was hilarious, honestly, with the fake trailer at the beginning. Machete Kills again in space. I love it. It was great. It was a great movie. Machete Kills was probably even better than the first. Yeah, I have to say that. The Survivors, which had Rob Williams movie, which I never seen and I thought it was hilarious. And the last movie I watched is Man Thing, which is a horror movie, but it's a Marvel horror movie. It's from the comic book Marvel, uh, a Marvel comic book. I mean, Man Thing. It's basically like Swamp Thing, but it's a horror movie. So, but yeah, but it was a good movie too. But anyway, those are all the movies I watched in July. So, have you seen any of those? Have you heard of them? Because there was a lot of good ones in there. It's like maybe some hidden gems too. But anyway, in this month of August, I'm going to focus more on video games and maybe play and watch a movie or two in between. So who knows? I'm going to try to balance it out. So anyway, thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. See you later.